Japanese turned simple flat pork cutlets into an art. This is not just an ordinary fried dish. I think it's more like a fine pork steak. Nutty, crispy outside and juicy, tender inside. It is truly a gourmet dish. Japanese katsu are getting more popular in Korea and many restaurants are opening, and they are not just copying but developing further with their own subtle twists. One of the twists that inspired me is smoking the katsu over a charcoal fire and serving it with some flavored oil like truffle or perilla. That being said, today I'm going to show you how to make the Japanese style katsu with some Korean twist. Before we start, please leave a like and subscribe first. Thank you very much for your support. Now, let's go to work. Before we cook, I'd like to talk about the Japanese katsu really briefly. If you want to know about the history of katsu more, please check out my last video. Japanese katsu is from the katsuretsu, from the cutlet of Europe. It is basically fried meat, especially pork loin dredged in flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. At least I think. Japanese katsu these days is not just a humble everyday dish. I think it has reached a level of art. If it is done right, you can experience the perfect balance between juicy, tender, clean meat and greasy, nutty, crunchy exterior. Sometimes it is better than a fine steak. The key point of making it is the internal temperature of the meat. One of the most crucial points is bringing the meat's internal temperature just over the safety threshold, which is about 70 degrees Celsius. The safe temperature of a fresh chunk of pork is 65 degrees Celsius, but just in case, So managing the cooking temp is the key point. Let's keep that in mind, and then let's go to work. Unlike Korean king katsu in the last video, Japanese katsu requires a bit more delicate preparation. Let's look at the pork. Usually people use loin or tenderloin for katsu, but I'm using pork shoulder this time because this is what I only got now, and I think it is much easier to cook compared to those lean meats. It is much less likely to be overcooked. But it is pretty greasier though, so it is a matter of choice. First, I'll lightly stab the meat with a paring knife, mainly the fat part and the lines between the meat and fat. Tough tissues like silver skins are likely to be there. After that, season only with the salt both sides, cover with kitchen towel, and let it rest for about 1 hour. While the meat is resting, I'd like to make a dressing for the cabbage salad, which is the only garnish today. It is sesame mayo sauce. It is one of my favorites and also one of my ultimate recipes. Check out the screen if you need the amount of ingredients. You need to grind some toasted sesame seeds first, ideally in a pestle and mortar. Grind those to release its beautiful nuttiness. Then in a container, add mayo, corn syrup or sugar, soy sauce, white distilled vinegar, sesame seed oil, and the grinded sesame seeds. Mix it up and the dressing is done. Now let's get down to the pork. There are 3 steps to the breading process: flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. I'm using fresh breadcrumbs, but panko will be just fine. You have to thoroughly coat the surface each step, otherwise it will fall off while cooking or eating it. Remove the water on the surface and proceed breading every nook and cranny. Once it's done, let's fry. I want to show you 2 methods. One is frying only, 2 is smoking after frying. Let's go with the first one first. The key is in managing the temperature. As I said earlier, internal temperature of the pork should reach just above the safety temperature eventually. 65 degrees C at least, 70 degrees C will be perfect. The problem is that you should not raise the internal temperature up to 75, 80 or higher, otherwise it will be dry and tough. It is just like cooking the steak. And you should not burn the breadcrumbs on the surface in the same time. It demands high level of cooking skills. I'm not perfect either. It is not something you can do easily, but once you've done it, you'll taste the juicy, tender heaven. Prepare a large pot or pan and pour enough frying oil. Always use a large pot and enough oil when deep frying. It is much more controllable. The oil temperature and frying time are hard to generalize. It affected by thickness of the meat. I set the oil temperature 150 degrees Celsius and fried for about 4 to 5 minutes. Check the internal temperature with a meat thermometer, and once it reaches 65 degrees C, take it out. Just keep in mind that the internal temperature will raise about 5 degrees C while resting. When resting the meat, optionally stand it upright to prevent the batter from getting soggy. And there you have it, one beautiful piece of katsu. Crispy outside, juicy, tender, but still toothsome meat inside. I couldn't resist while slicing it. It might not be the best katsu objectively, but nothing tastes better than sneaking a bite while cooking. That is the privilege of the cook. Alright, stop eating and let's finish the work. Lay down the katsu onto a plate, followed by the cabbage and trustworthy sesame mayo. Last but not least, wasabi paste and flaky salt. This is the ideal katsu plate I can imagine. Totally worth all the labors I did. It was so good. This is just fantastic enough to enjoy, but I wanna go one step further. Let's smoke them. As I know, a Korean katsu restaurant, Sumi Katsu, started to smoke the katsu for the first time. Please let me know in the comment if it is not correct. Smoking the katsu while resting was really brilliant. It gives a rich and sophisticated aroma to the katsu. If you have some kit like a cocktail smoker, just go for it. I don't have any smoking device, so I'll just go with the cumbersome and inefficient method, which is using the barbecue grill, charcoal, and a DIY smoker. Wrap some wood chips with aluminum foil and punch some holes. According to my research, wood doesn't catch a fire, but only produces smoke when exposed to high temperatures without oxygen. When it's ready, make charcoal fully ignited and place the smoker on top of that. And this time I cooked my katsu in 180°C for 1.5 minutes. The heat from the charcoal will cook the meat, so I just browned the exterior. About 5 to 10 minutes will do. Don't worry about the time, just check the actual internal temperature. This was so hard work on a scorching day, but the moment of truth, this was freaking gorgeous. Katsu itself was absolutely delicious. The wood fire aroma backs up. For the final touch, just a little drizzle of perilla oil. This is also a signature move of Sumi's Katsu. Truffle flavored oil is great with this too. I felt like I was rewarded for all my sweat and effort. I wanted a pint of coldest beer, but I'm trying not to drink these days, so I'll just go with the non-alcoholic beer. And that is it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the Katsu videos. It will be so great if you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with another interesting stuff. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.